that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Welcome to the number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. I am Dylan Blight. Joining me this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, Dylan, how you doing?
Why are you saying it like that?
Because you said it slow, so...
Oh, yeah, I'll 100% admit I nearly said Ashley Pryor. That is why my brain caught myself as I was about to say it, and then I was like, Hobley.
At least you caught it.
I caught it, yeah. I mean, it was a secret until you had to make fun of me. So,
yeah.
There you go. Also joining us this
you were
week,
doing a bit,
Nicholas Hobley.
2 weeks in a row. This is madness. This is unprecedented.
What will we do?
I hope you're all rip-roaring, full of energy, ready to go.
Yes, well, I was gonna make that as the first topic, somewhere to cover it, I suppose. We just today we finished 24-hour stream for Great Games Done Slow.
Isn't it Good Games Done Slow?
Great.
No, it's Great Games.
They're great.
Yes, I know people kept saying good, but I'm like, well, let's not get pedantic about the name. We're raising money, just whatever. I mean, good, great, slow, fast.
They're all good
Whatever.
adjectives.
Yeah,
Positive
just their
adjectives.
words, right? You know, whatever. When Kieran was towards the end of the stream today, when Kieran did like the last plug, he's like, supporting good games, and I was like, don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. But yeah, so we wrapped up stream today. So if you dropped by our twitch.tv/Explosion Network in the last 24 hours at any point and said hi, or didn't say hi but just popped on to see what was happening, appreciate it. The viewer count was pretty decent the entirety of the 24-hour period, so that was good, and we raised over $400 to whatever. That you always got to do
US?
the conversion to make yourself. Yeah, it's US dollars. So
Oh,
it's
okay. That's even better than I thought.
Yeah, so
conversion
do the
rates.
conversion and
That's like $1 million.
Yeah,
yeah,
almost.
410 US does transfer to about 2,169 Australian Canadian dollars. I'm pretty sure, if I'm counting my chickens correct. But yeah, so they did that. That's pretty good. Little clap for everyone, including Kieran, who's not here. But
Yeah, clap sound effect. You can put that in post.
yeah, I'll just get Kieran to send in his own little clap. No, that's probably not.
That's actually
too much effort.
$571 Australian.
There you go.
You're kidding. Is that the conversion?
Yep.
That is depressing.
Is it?
$1
Or is it
dollar
good
is
because
1.3.
we raised 571 Australian dollars?
Yeah,
No,
$1
it's
dollar is 1.39 Australian dollars. So,
Today.
yeah, today.
As of today. Yeah. Could have been less when people donated.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know.
It could
more.
have spiked because of all the donations.
Maybe. Who knows how they play that system. I was going to go over a couple of games we played during the stream, because I personally played a couple new things and stuff. So firstly, we played the Hunter. Well, I played the Hunter with Nick, which is coming to PS4 in.
It's already
I
out.
can't remember. Is it?
Yeah.
Or what was it? Oh, there was a game of.
It was like the
well, it
Game
was
of
all
the Year
the
edition
DLC.
type thing.
Yeah, so there's one coming out soon with all the DLC and stuff, and I would suggest it honestly, which is weird, because everything I'd seen about this game prior to playing it, I was like, whatever. Like, I mean, it's like you think hunting game, you just think, as some, like I said
Buck
it several
Hunter
times on the stream.
2009.
No, well,
Top of the
it's just like,
series.
I mentioned it a couple times on the stream. I'm like, I'm against trophy hunting in real life. So obviously, if I see hunting games, I just give them a pass.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same as, well, I also play games where I shoot humans, and I'm against shooting humans. So
But the humans are
it's a
shooting
video
back
game.
at you, so generally it's in self-defense.
yeah.
Whereas
well,
you just
the
murdered
animals.
those tiny little rabbits.
Well, to be fair, they did try to murder
They were
me as well,
destroying the farmland.
Oh, it's pest
but
management, is it?
Yeah.
but
Okay,
it's
that's
very
fine
much.
then.
Agricultural management simulator.
What about the deer then?
They're even worse.
Wow.
Are they?
You should see what they do to the bananas up at Coffs Harbour. Ridiculous.
Oh my god. The thing interesting about this game that I would say that a lot of people probably wouldn't know, 'cause especially if you're not paying any attention like me, just passing it off as a a boring hunting game or something. It's like made by It's not made by Ubisoft, but it's like got lookout towers and things to unlock on the map and all sorts of craziness happening in it. That it's kind of like you could get that game. I feel barely do any hunting, wander around the map just to unlock stuff for 10 to 20 hours, and have a relaxing time wandering through the forest, checking off things on the map, and be like, all right, that was fun. So,
and you don't have to shoot either because it's got a camera as well, so you could theoretically just take photos of animals.
Yeah, and it's quite pretty game. So
Yeah,
that was
and it's got
that was a surprise for me.
RPG like mechanics where you upgrade your skills and unlock new weapons and ammo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it's weird that it's a hunting game, but at the same time, I'd say it actually fit the theme very well because we kept saying it is actually a fair, relaxing game, and I'd say it's a lot. When I tried it out myself before playing COD with you, it was a lot more relaxing, obviously, because you're just playing by yourself and not having to concentrate on what's happening on stream and talk
someone
to each
doing
other.
doughies and a quarter around you. And
Yeah, no one's doing doughies in a quad around me. So, but I think by yourself that is quite a relaxing game, even though it's about hunting animals. But you could just wander around, just taking photos for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Really beautiful forest and whatever of a scenery they've got. So that was a surprise one for me. We played COD after that, but I'll save that until the main topic later. Was playing the Blackout beta. You played Frostpunk, but
I did play Frostpunk.
I don't think that's going to come to PlayStation. But
No.
give a quick overview if you want to.
It's basically a survival / city building game where you're the survivors and like the world's frozen over and you got to try and get your city to survive by coal and heat, and it's pretty dire times, so you have to like enact child labour laws and amputations and just
keep coming back to the child labour laws.
I can't help it.
I don't know,
I'm just
it's-
living out my fantasy.
Is it a hard? Sim,
Yeah,
or-
it's pretty, like, I'm only playing the first scenario and it's already getting pretty tough, having to make tough decisions and stuff like that.
I'm interested in it. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but I've been interested since I saw it. When did it come? Because it came out like what 3, 4 months ago. I don't know, something. Like a few months
Yeah,
ago,
maybe about, I want to say about 6 months ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
The COD after that, and then after that,
played
Ash took over.
Spider-Man.
Yep. Yeah, I don't
Played
know if
Spider-Man
we
for
talked about Spider-Man.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we've covered that though. And then you jumped into 2 Point Hospital, which came out a week ago, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, something like that. Probably not going to come to PlayStation either, I would imagine.
Probably
Actually,
not gonna
I think it
come
might,
close.
because Theme Hospital came to PS1.
Did it?
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, it could work.
It's
It's
PS1
not-
classic.
it's very
not Vita.
hard.
It's not like
menus
there's
and
not like
stuff.
but I mean, Sims and that are on the PS4, so
It's been doing very well though.
yeah,
is
it's
the-
fine.
Well,
the thing.
if City Skylines just came to Switch, then there's definitely a chance of this coming to
It
the
apparently
console.
runs at times below 20 frames.
Oh,
per
yeah,
second
it's
on the
probably
Switch.
runs like garbage, but the fact that
It's
it
there.
works. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what, 2 Point Hospital. What is it? What
It's
do you
a
think?
hospital simulator, pretty much. So you build a bunch of, or run a series of different hospitals. They give you a bunch of objectives to do, like get so many patients, earn so much money, and then you get like 3 stars. So it's like, it kind of felt like a mobile game. You know how they have all these levels with like you trying to get 3 stars on each thing. But yeah, it was fun. It was
Like
pretty funny.
Overcooked.
Yeah. Overcooked was the other one that it just sort of felt like. Obviously, the aesthetic very much felt like
You don't
Overcooked.
look at Overcooked like a mobile game though.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's just that 3 stars is probably like built into like half a dozen mobile games I played.
So
So
it's
I think it was a
it's
thing before mobile games, though.
yeah, probably. Yeah, but mobile games just yeah.
Was it story levels you was doing?
It was just like scenario
campaign?
level. Yeah, campaign.
Yeah, it's story light. Like there's
It's pretty light, yeah.
like a thread.
Is
that
there
goes
a
between different
sandbox?
ones.
I
well?
don't know yet. I feel like all the ones that I was doing were trying to like expand all the basic premises, like different wards and that sort of thing.
At the moment, there's no sandbox type mode yet,
Okay.
but it's also very comedic as well. Like the disease is a mock star where everyone thinks they're rock stars and they dress up like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And lightheadedness where their head is literally a light globe and stuff like that.
That'll do it. Yeah, it looks pretty funny.
Yeah.
And everything I've seen people been tweeting about it last week and most of the reviews and stuff. So a lot of positive buzz around that. I feel it's funny though because obviously it's not a genre running dry, but because it's the more comedic version and doing it well, I think people are gravitating towards it more than your more typical serious tycoon type stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're looking at you play FrostPunk or these types of games, even though different, obviously, but sim-like worlds and stuff. And then after that, I took over, and the first thing I played was Journey, finally, which I'd never actually played before. Has everyone here
really?
played Journey? Or
I haven't played it.
You haven't played it either, see?
No.
I don't feel so bad now. Yeah. I felt like I was one of 5 people in the world who had never played Journey.
And
Well,
actually,
now there's
the
only
other
4
one.
of us. There's only 4 of us
now.
now.
There's 4 left. I think the first thing that surprised me about it, because it was obviously a PS3 game that they then brought over to PS4 as well, was I knew it wasn't going to look bad, but it looked a lot better than I thought it would. And I think that's just in part to the art style.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was playing it on my monitor because I'm streaming it, so it wasn't even on my 4K TV or anything. But I was like, oh, wow, this is a lot prettier than I thought it was. And I took several screenshots while it was actually streaming off the photo mode, actually. And there was times with the people I met up with. That was the other thing. I met 4 people online playing that game, which I thought was crazy. I'm like, 4 people are playing this Journey now.
The same time you are, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. Because when you finish the game, it comes up and says you met this person, this person, this person. I was like,
Well, they
oh,
could be
there you go.
just computer-generated names. Did you look them up?
No, but
No?
I don't think that's gonna. I mean, that they're real people, or that you either meet people or you don't meet people. That's the thing. For
I don't know,
Journey,
just-
I believe.
If I recall correctly, they might do computer-controlled characters. Let me have a look.
They might, but then it wouldn't come up with people at the end, like usernames.
I know. I just find,
Well-
that is surprising that people would be still playing it.
Yeah, but I was as well, and it was. I know a lot of people might have been playing it as part of
Games Done Slow.
Great
yeah.
Games Done Slow as well, for all we know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the other thing. Because obviously it's a go-to game for that type of, relaxing, chill. It would be on the list of those types of games to checklist. But yeah, that was I think that was just short of 2 hours it took me to play through that. I really enjoyed that. I don't fully comprehend what happened at the end. I'm sure there's millions and one theories I could read online, what people have to say about Journey and its ending, but it's one of those endings where you're like, I don't really understand what's happening, but at the same time I'm feeling something, so success, I guess. There was a couple of sections that I found annoying where you had to dodge certain things, but it was good, and I'm glad I finally checked that off. After that, I jumped into Never Alone, which is I should look this up again because I've already forgot. It's what is the name of like Alaskan people, like folk?
Inuit.
Yeah, it's like a folklore for them, I believe. Or it's like based on their folklore or a tale. So it's this little girl who there's a blizzard and it's basically ruining her village, and she decides that she's going to run off and find the source of the blizzard to stop, which is obviously nonsense, but it's
Who does she think she is, Siri?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of folklore in different, all different places is very similar type nonsense like that. Like, oh, there's a blizzard, better run off to stop it. She then comes across a fox, and they team up and become friends. It's designed for co-op, like one person controlling the fox, one person controlling the girl, but you can play it single player by clicking triangle to switch backwards and forwards between them. And the AI at times would do really stupid things, and I had to died a couple times because the AI did stupid things, but I mean, it was fine. And that took, I don't know, an hour and a half again. Like I finished that as well. Buddy, as I was rolling the credits on that, kind of just came back on stream, was like, rolling your second credits. How many games do you want to? It was like blasted through them.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So
that was
I saw you
pretty
finish
good as
Journey,
well.
so
Yeah,
You got
Journey,
rated.
Never Alone. And I nearly finished the third game I started as well, which was also really funny. I was like, I'm going to finish 3. I'm blasting through 'em. But yeah, I'd suggest Never
What
Alone.
was
That
the
was a lot of
third
fun. Abzu.
Ah,
which
that's right.
is basically, even though I didn't finish it, underwater journey. More or less underwater journey. You start in the middle of the ocean, except I honestly feel like Abzu is better looking, but they're very different games, obviously, and I feel like going through the ocean, like having really pretty ocean, and that game might have the prettiest ocean in any game I've played, even though it's kind of cartoony, but that's kind of why it works, I suppose. But they have millions or thousands of fish and all sorts of sea life on the screen at some points, and the water's really blue and it's just really nice looking, and they have these meditative statues that you can sit on and kind of just look around the ocean and stuff. They encourage you to obviously take in how great that game looks. I believe I'm up to the last level or second last level of that, so I'll go back and finish that as well. But all three games I played, quite enjoyed. They were all pretty good. And then Kieran took over and he played Fable Anniversary. I went to sleep for
Probably
a
not
couple
coming
hours.
to PS4.
Yeah, probably not on PS4, yeah. I don't think he finished it in 4 hours, no. Or I assume he tried as hard as he could. But he's total noob. Anyone could finish Fable Anniversary in 3 hours.
Exactly.
One arm tied behind the back. Easy. Come on. Get to work. And then when I jumped on with him after I woke up again, we played the Portal 2 co-op. And we nearly finished that before we wrapped up. And I had nearly finished that once before, but never finished it. And Portal 2 co-op's really fun. And I wish they'd make more co-op games like that. But, you know.
I wish they'd make another
I was
Portal.
thinking, or just make it off Portal, yeah, that's correct. But I was thinking while I was playing that, you know, it's always like, oh, you go looking for co-op games, and a lot of people these days would say Overcooked, or Overcooked 2, I suppose, is now the go-to great co-op experience. But if they had more games like Portal 2 and stuff like that, it'd be great, because a lot of people don't want shooters and stuff, which is the problem with this. And we're going to talk about Battle Royale and a little bit with Call of Duty, but at the moment when you're like, oh, what games can I play with my friends and stuff, it's like, you see what everyone's playing, and it's all these Battle Royales, and everyone's playing Scum at the moment, and all these...
Destiny.
They're just all shooters and stuff, which if you don't want to, what if you just want a bit more of a cooperative experience? There's not much in the market, I suppose.
Technically,
Void
Portal's
to be
a shooter.
filled. Yeah, I mean, but non-combative shooter.
I don't know. You and Kieran got pretty combative when I was watching.
Yeah. Well, I did kill a robot with my bare hands, but that's a different story. So that was the games of our Great Games Done Slow stream. It was really fun. Once again, thank you for everyone who donated. Stop by.
You can still donate.
You can. I don't know. I clicked our campaign to end after 24 hours, but I don't know if it stays open. I should look, I suppose. But I mean, I only set it for 1 day. But then can you donate after? And it just lists it as 1 day.
Just go to
Don't
goodgames.
Well, if you set it for 1 day...
GreatGamesDoneSlow.com. You'll find a stream there. Just donate to somebody.
Yeah, just donate to them. It doesn't matter. Go help people out with that.
It's all for a good cause. Yeah.
All right. Now, there wasn't much news in the last week. However, pretty much, the morning or the night after we recorded last week, Sony did do
during our recording.
Yeah, it was during our recording last week. Sony was doing a pre-TGS announcement stream, and I really didn't expect much big news out of it, and there wasn't. However, there was a couple pieces of news that came out of it, so we'll run through these. And of course, the thing with this is, are they going to announce big things at TGS this year? Are these, if they're getting these out of the way, does that mean they have other things? I don't know.
Do they have a press conference?
If you want. I mean, even if they don't, they could still announce things there. Is the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like, you don't need the conference. You don't need the big thing. You can just drop a trailer at TGS, invite press to play a game, whatever. Because the first thing that was announced was, you got the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remaster coming, and this is coming to PlayStation and Switch as well. This one is really interesting. Did either of you know about this game? Or
Nope.
back in the day? Back when it was released, I wanted to play it because growing up I was huge into Final Fantasy. The problem with this game, it was basically impossible to play with anyone because you needed to have rich friends. it required a Game Boy times 4 and a GameCube and an extra adapter to play. Because you had to plug 4 Game Boys into a GameCube to be able to play it properly.
How did this sell any more than like 3 copies?
Well, everybody had a Game Boy, so
I'm sure some people, obviously, you know, if you have enough friends that had Game Boys, but I think I only knew 2 people, and then I only knew one person had a GameCube, and I wasn't really like great friends with them as a kid, so I could be like, "Hey, can I come use your GameCube?" But even when I was younger, I remember thinking, "What a weird idea," you know. Just have so many items involved in this game. It is renowned to a point among Final Fantasy fans for a lot of things. I know a lot of people really, really enjoy it that did actually get to play it and had great times with it playing it. A lot of people also say the music in it's some of the best music of Final Fantasy, which I'm like, okay, yeah, hide that behind a spin-off title that barely anyone could play. But now, I'm going to be able to play it. You'll be able to play online, and I presume on Switch, you'll be able to play with, I don't know, local would make sense. I don't know if you could do 4-player split screen on PS4? I don't know. Maybe. I don't think they said, but you need a big TV anyway, I suppose. I hate playing. Split that thing in half 2 times. Too tiny.
I mean, I've got a massive
PlayLink
TV
game
now, and even though you split it in half and half the screen is like the size of a normal TV, I still hate playing split screen.
Really?
You've just grown accustomed.
How big's your TV? Isn't it like 70-something inches?
75 inches.
Yeah, there you go.
I had a hard time
Still
playing Get Out because I hated sharing the screen.
Oh my god. You like buy another 75-inch TV here.
Yeah.
You need this to be able to play it. We can't do this. Split screen's too hard.
But even if you're playing it online, it's like split screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how that game was.
Yeah, but it's designed, so you can see what the other person's doing. I mean, good game, that. Shout out to that game.
Great game. Co-op game. There you go.
Great ending.
Play that.
There you go. Play that, but...
Not combative.
Non-combative. I think you shoot people on that game. On to the next thing. So Project Awakening was announced. I presume that this is not actually the official title for it.
Who knows?
And it's... Yeah, well... I mean, these days, after the whole Project Octopath Traveler thing, I don't trust anyone. So
Project Octopath Traveler.
So now this is going to be called Awakening when it comes
Yeah.
out. I'll just drop the project part of it, maybe. And that's it. But it looks really cool. The trailer doesn't show much. It shows it talks about wolves awakening and all sorts, and it shows a dude with a sword, and he meets up with a dragon, and they have a big old brawl. And the gameplay looks fast. Combination of people were comparing it to Monster Hunter and the Dark Soul games, because this dragon is kind of jumping around back and forth all the place. The character's diving under it, swiping away, and then at the end of the trailer, the character is walking off into the distance, walking, and then off in the distance you can see what looks like giant people, and one of them kind of looks like, I don't know, a Sauron-looking character, kind of marching towards them, like giants or something. So, as far as reveal trailers go, I'm intrigued for that one. Hopefully we'll see more. I don't know if they're going to show more at TGS, or that was just, hey, here's the thing. Don't know. So Square Enix, of course, being Tokyo Game Show, had some things to show, especially pre-thing. They announced that they're going to bring out Kingdom Hearts VR experience. And I know it's probably going to be really terrible. Well, I mean, it's free, also, is the thing that's worth noting, I suppose.
That's a pretty good price.
But it is $0.00. It's pretty good. As a free thing, I know I don't have my up high standards for it. But as someone who loves Kingdom Hearts, the idea of being able to swing around a Keyblade in VR's semi-exciting. Even though I'm pretty sure it's just going to be standing in one spot while having, a wave of Heartless kind of come at you, and you just wave your Keyblade.
Sounds garbage.
Yeah, but it's free.
Still not worth my time.
And
Well, yeah, do you like Kingdom Hearts?
I enjoyed the first one when I was 12.
Well, yeah, I don't think this is aimed for you at all, Nick. I'm sorry.
Can I use my
I'm sorry
aim,
to let you
though?
down. Oh, yeah, you gonna use your aim controller in this?
Yeah.
But so in the trailer they show off all the titles of the games, and they kind of flick between key moments from all the games. So I presume that the VR experience is going to be, maybe 5-minute segments of kind of recreated in VR from high points of the story or important points of the story throughout all the games. Once again, just another thing that they've somehow managed to whip together before Kingdom Hearts 3 has come out. It's like, oh my god, just another thing.
But where does
There
it
you
fit in the canon?
It's all of it.
You,
It's
you
basically
you have
like
to play this game to get the full story.
instead of releasing the story of Kingdom Hearts that you need to know before playing 3 in under 2 hours video, they've just decided to make this and said, here, play this to catch up
Maybe they could
before you play.
put that in it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Continuing on with VR, so I can't pronounce it's all right. The From Software game. I don't even Déraciné. Déraciné.
Denny
I
Crane.
don't know. Yeah. Well, it's the one that they announced at E3 in a really weird spot. Where was it? It was once the
It was
stream
like
ended,
it was like right at the end after the press conference.
when we wasn't sure if it had actually finished,
Yeah.
and then they announced this, and it was one of those, okay, so the stream's still going, but then it was a after E3 announcement, and then we kept watching still, like,
You're like,
can we
are they
turn
still
off
showing
or-
stuff? Or?
yeah, so that was one of the really, among many, obviously, weird things that Sony did at E3 this year, but they did come out and announce this From Software game. It's a VR game that everyone was kind of weirded out because obviously it's a VR game, the first VR game they've done, and it's also a adventure game, and it's not, fighting people with giant swords while dying a lot, which is the interesting thing. I'm excited for it. I think the trailer shows an interesting premise. The fact that they said it requires 2 Move controllers to play has my hopes up as it being, if it requires 2, in my mind that means there's actually going to be puzzles that involve having to use both hands and combination of different things instead of just walking around. If they said you could play with the DualShock, it's like, well, it's obviously not going to be as involved as a VR experience, I feel. The story is you play as a fairy in a boarding school of some sort, and there's like 6 people in there, and time's frozen, and you basically walk around and, discover the story of the place. Very typical, I suppose, premise for a adventure game, explore a certain place, pick up items, read notes, all that sort of stuff. But in VR, I think these types of games could prosper really well. When I think about one of my favorites in the genre, I suppose, and a lot of people's as well, would be Gone Home in the walking simulator quote unquote genre. I feel like those types of games, especially as Gone Home. If you played Gone Home for the first time in VR, that would have been a great experience. Walking up to that front door the first time, thunder, not knowing what is in the house. Are you playing a horror game? What is going on here? So I really think these types of games could do quite well in VR, especially if the price point's not too high. And the other interesting thing about this is that the lead story and the director is the same person who does Dark Souls and all that sort of stuff. So it's not like someone else random at From Software. It's the guy, which is interesting. And that's coming out November 6th. So you can look forward to that one. Don't have a price point there. Continue on
Nick?
VR. I doubt it.
Probably not.
Yeah. I'll play it, and if it's really good, I'll have to tell you to play it. If I play it and I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed it, that'll mean you go, Dylan enjoyed it, but that wasn't. You need to play this Dick moment. Although I could, if I play it and I'm like, oh my god, it was so it looks one of the best looking games, and the motions are good, and the puzzles are really great using both move controls. Would you play it then?
If the answer is, can I shoot somebody?
Is that your need? Is that your need
that-
in VR games to
Nah.
be able to shoot people?
I don't know. It just doesn't look like a game for me.
No, I don't think it particularly looks up your alley, but at the same time, I feel like if it was a really, really good just VR experience, then and the price point wasn't too high, I could see maybe checking it
Yeah,
out.
I'm open to the idea, but I'm not open on spending money on it on a just cause.
Yeah, fair enough.
What about for a just
Another
cause?
VR game. No, we don't want Tomb Raider. Another VR game that they announced. This one's exciting, I feel, is Everybody's Golf VR.
Is it
and this makes
separate?
perfect sense. I didn't. Yeah, it's a separate.
Okay.
It's a completely separate thing. It's been made by the same team that put out the one last year.
Yeah.
So I assume they got to work on this pretty much straight after. But golf games, motion controllers obviously always went hand in hand back from the Wii days. Now we've got the VR. And when I read the announcement, I was like,
played one of the Tiger Woods PGA tours with the Move controller.
really? How'd that go?
It actually worked out pretty well.
Well, you'd think it'd be something easy to get right.
It sounds like it'd be exactly the same as what I played, except with a VR headset on my head.
Yeah, but there's just so many things with VR that it just adds.
Oh yeah, I
to
didn't
it,
say that
feel.
as a detriment.
And I'm down for this as someone who didn't play Everybody's Golf, the normal one, not for any particular reason. I probably would have picked it up if I had more money just to throw around, or there wasn't other stuff coming out at the same time. But this is yes, I'm excited for this because golf VR, Everybody's Golf, which is obviously not hardcore Tiger Woods PGA type game, but still not like it's not a sim, but it's not super arcadey. It's kind of in the middle ground there. But they talk about in the announcement that you're in VR, you'll be able to see the wind, you'll be able to track the course better,
You'll be able to zoom into
all
where
this-
the hole is, or
no. So
No?
it'll
be like real golf.
Yeah.
that's
So I
cool.
find that,
yeah.
that's cool. The only thing I worry about is obviously if you're standing in a room, I presume using your move controller, moving it backwards and forwards,
Better
and
put
then
some straps
you
on.
fling it forward and it goes straight through your TV
Yeah.
screen.
You better make sure that VR headset's on nice and tight.
No, I'm not worried about the VR headset. I'm worried about people's move
You
controllers.
follow through.
That's
going
what the
through
structure on the wrist for.
Yeah, no one uses those, do. I took mine off because you could never put the move controllers in like gun accessories and stuff back in the PS3 days. They would often get caught, and you couldn't put them into little guns to use to pew 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 pew. But yeah, Everybody's Golf VR. I'm
Could
down
you
for that.
use the
That's
aim controller
It's a good one.
as a golf stick?
No, the aim controller is a back of the box. This uses that controller.
Okay.
It has to let you. Yeah, there you go. What do you reckon about this though, Nick?
Depending on the price point, I'll pick it up.
What if it was same as the original? So $60 day one,
No,
$40.
maybe.
Okay, I was about to say you can't expect them to go too low if it's.
It depends on what's coming out around it and what I'm playing at the time too. Because for me, it's one of those games where if I've got nothing else on, I'll play it. But if there's other stuff around it, I probably won't make time for it.
It sounds like it'll be an evergreen title though. You buy it.
Not
once,
if you're
you could-
bad at
You
golf.
could pick it up.
Yeah, I mean that's true. No, I agree. Obviously, if there's a lot coming out at a time that comes out a really weird position and it's $100 or something like that, then after me saying, "Yeah, I'm really excited for this," and I will probably just not end up playing it. But
Yeah.
if I can fit it in and the price point is ridiculous, but it's the kind of thing that I'd probably be happy to play through all the courses and do whatever sort of campaign there is. Hopefully they add some sort of competitive or multiplayer mode because that would
Yeah, I
obviously
can't-
make it a lot
It'd
higher
be-
buy, I feel.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that would get me because that's way more fun. It's like if it's all single player, yes. But then when you look at the original or the one that came out last year, obviously
Yeah,
that was so multiplayer
focused,
centric,
yeah.
and that's the reason why everyone was picking up. If they can add some sort of similar, I wouldn't expect as good because I'm not ridiculous, but some sort of similar multiplayer social aspect to their VR version, then I feel like that could be a hot winner in front of them, because that's something a lot of people. That's something that would make a lot of people buy the game over just being a complete nah, don't want this, to multiplayer. You can get together with up to 3 more friends and all golf together on the same course together.
And it's one of those games,
each other.
especially one of those games that you could put somebody that, like a gamer, someone that's not a gamer, and they'd be able to understand what's
You
going
could put
on.
your dad into the game
Yeah.
and you'd be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You move the controller, you release this button to do this. Yeah. They're usually pretty simple. Well, look, yeah, so looking forward to finding out more about that one. They said they'll have more information coming out soon, but it's always like, do you mean soon as in when actually TGS is on, or soon as in a month or 2 from now when you decide to give it in a random, wake up one morning and there's a blog post on the PlayStation blog? Who knows?
When is
Find out.
TGS?
Starts on the 20th.
20th? Yeah.
It's a
So
Thursday.
Yep. There you go. All right, last thing is also a VR thing, because they did a pretty good job at showing off and talking a bit about VR. I find it interesting because you always wondered, is VR doing really well in Japan? Is it doing well? Where's it doing well in the best countries? Is it doing better in America, Europe, Japan? Where's it doing well? But I mean, it must be doing well in Japan, and so well that they're willing to spend a lot of time talking about VR titles and investing in it. And I mean, if a studio like From Software is interested, heavy, obviously Japanese based studios invested into doing a VR title when their bread and butter is third person action titles, and they randomly decide VR, then I think that says something.
I think VR is, all hypotheticals, I don't have the numbers, but it'd be very popular in Japan too, because of how dense everyone lives. They're pretty much on top of each other. It's a good way for escapism.
Yeah. And I mean, people get worried about the space aspect, and although some games you obviously do need more space than others, you could lose the ability to play a couple games but still be able to play the majority of VR games in tight-ish spaces. So you don't need giant setups where you can walk around. I don't have that much space where I play in my room, but I manage.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been, like, I don't have much space either for where I play, but I don't think I've ever been limited by it either.
Yeah. Unless you literally have to sit like a meter away from your
Yeah.
TV and you can't move the camera anywhere but dead bang in front of you. So yeah, the last thing they announced was, or not announced, but they showed off a trailer for Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, the VR mode, which we've talked about several times, and Nick's discussed his disappointment when it went from them kind of being, hey, Ace Combat VR, and everyone was like, yes, whole game in VR, that's yes, hell yes, gonna buy that day one. Then they did the whole Gran Turismo thing and was like, no, it's just a mode. It's a mode. It's not the whole game. And everyone was like, all right, cancel pre-order, don't care anymore. And I feel like that was pretty much, even though Nick didn't have a pre-order, I feel like that was the sentiment
pretty much
of the whole thing.
He cancelled his non-existent
picking it up.
pre-order. That's how serious he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only got
did you
pre-order
watch
just to cancel it.
Yeah, well, maybe. Did you watch this trailer at all?
I think I watched some of it.
Okay. It's only a short one, and it has me more interested than I was previously, because I don't think they'd shown off much of the VR content in it before.
No,
and
I
every
don't think
time
they-
they talked about it, it made it sound like it was just going to be like a 10-minute mission, or something really short, to which every time my thought was, well, I mean, Call of Duty put out a 10-minute free mission VR thing, and Battlefront had the free update, the X-Wing thing.
X-Wing,
So every time they talked about it, I was like, okay. But this seems a bit more substantial. Like, it's not going to be a full as long campaign as the proper game, but it seems like it's a longer, like a mini campaign in VR, more than just a one mission thing. And it looks pretty intense, and that's the thing I liked about it. I mean, the plane you're in, and you'll like the fact that in front of them, I suppose it must be in front of your headset, and it's always like
the
wherever
HUD,
you're looking is the HUD, and that's kind of cool there, and it has all the details that I don't understand on it at all times. And they're moving like, and they also show when you first get into the plane, they show the person being able to look around in the cockpit and they're looking at all the buttons and what old stuff I obviously don't understand, but people who like you who are into planes will appreciate being able to look at that stuff in VR, I suppose. And they also show kind of like the X-Wing experience where you could flick around your plane and look at it, in which those kinds of things I feel are appreciated in games like this. It's like, it's not hard to add that, but because it's in VR, you kind of want to do it more than when you play a racing game or whatever, and you can go look at the trophy version of your car and you spin around with your right analog stick and you're like, oh yeah, it looks cool, circle, I'm done. But in VR, obviously, because it's there in front of you, you're like, oh yeah, big fucking jet plane, yes, let me look at that. Oh, get in the cockpit seat and you look around all the buttons. It's more exciting than when you're playing a normal game, even for someone like me who wouldn't do that if it was the standard version. But in VR, I suddenly do want to look around and all that. But when they got into it, fucking thing moves, I'll tell you that. Like, I was like, I am probably going to feel sick giving this a go, because it was zipping along and they were doing barrel rolls and they were firing rockets at planes, and there was other planes happening, so there was some kind of battle happening, and I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, I don't want to pay full price for the game for just this, because I don't have any interest in playing the standard Ace Combat mode, but as someone with VR, I have an interest in this. That's why I kind of wish they would just come out and say how long it would be, because that helps me decide, okay, at what price point do I wait till it to drop to buy it at? Because I hate to put time, like hours spent to money, because, you know, obviously it varies depending on the game and it's a really weird thing to have. But when you're thinking about a VR experience, often it does kind of help to go, $20 for how many hours? Is it just a 10-minute mission? Okay, I'm just going to wait until it's fucking $5, you know, $10 or something along those lines. But if it's 5-6 hours, actual 5-6 hour campaign, which I highly doubt it is, but that would be pretty good. I feel 5-6 hours VR campaign to a side to the main campaign, which is probably, you know, 30-40 hours of whatever content you got going on there. And then the last thing they showed in the trailer was they were on a ship in the water, and the character was kind of like leaning on the railing, just watching ships fly in and take off. So it seems like there's probably going to be variations of those modes where it's just experience in VR and you just kind of get to chill and see what's up, which, as I was saying with the thing where you could look at the plane, I'm happy for that, because they're cool modes to have in VR games. So, yeah, what do you think? Was hearing a bit more about this now? I obviously don't expect you to turn around and be like, yes, I'm pre-ordering it, but is it sounding a little bit better than?
Well, I just watched the trailer. It looks. It's hard because I get my fill of this kind of stuff elsewhere, and it being in VR, like I've played a bit of the PC stuff in VR. It's just. I'll pick it up like you if it's cheap, and also depending on the price and the length of the VR segment, but like I'm not going to rush out and get it day one.
Yeah.
What if it's like getting
That's
tens?
You get tens all day.
Don't care?
Yeah, no.
Don't care.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I do find it interesting. You don't really have an interest in this game, like even the standard version, right?
No, definitely not the standard version. It's definitely a lot more arcadey for my taste.
It's not. It's not hardcore enough.
Yeah, it's not a simulator. It's a game. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Okay, let's move on to the biggest game. I was just about to say it's the biggest.
See you
game,
later, Ashley.
Yeah. This whole show, VR, first-person shooters, it's fine. It's just, how was 2 Point Hospital, Ash?
It's okay.
It's okay. So the biggest game of last week, obviously, that came out was Tomb Raider, and there's nothing coming out this week of interest to really get hyped up to talk about. None of
So
us
what do you
played
think of Tomb Raider, Dylan?
Yeah, none of us played Tomb Raider, so
Oh.
we're going to talk about the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Blackout mode.
Black Ops 4.
Black Ops 3 Blackout mode.
Four.
Black Ops beta.
4.
Black Ops 4 Blackout mode beta. I'm such a COD hardcore fan. I don't know if you guys are aware. Or
I
not,
got the
but,
impression.
I got them all. I got them all down.
Good.
I would
you're all
actually
up to
argue-
date with the ghosts and the
Yeah,
modern warfares.
Yeah, I got them. I would argue maybe this beta was bigger than freaking Tomb Raider last week. I saw way more people tweeting about this and talking about this than a full-length game that came out. Which, I mean, it is Call of Duty, so obviously it does have gravitas and stature of it. However, it was a mode that barely anyone cared about until it was actually out, and I would speak for both of us, I feel, and say we were kind of people who didn't really care about it until all of a sudden we cared about it. And it's also a game that has been trashed on since its announcement. Every time stuff was shown of it, most the comments I saw was negative press. Everyone was just complaining about no single player in Black Ops.
I'm guilty of it. I was like,
this.
oh, do we need a fucking battle royale mode and everything there now?
Yeah, and all this sort of stuff. And then we played it. It's good. it's good. I would say. So what are your overall thoughts on Blackout, Nick?
I love it.
Love it.
Yep.
Wow, we're shooting for big words. All right, why do you love it?
I think I love it because it feels like a battle royale game done right, I guess. Whereas DayZ, H1Z1, PUBG all have felt like the premise has been fantastic, but the whole system and engine the game's built on is just a clunky mess. I feel like I'm always fighting the controls and not actually playing the game. And Fortnite is just... Granted, it's had a success and people love it, but it's just not to my taste, whereas in Battlefield is more in line to what I enjoy for a shooter kind of thing as well.
Yeah. It's funny. I think I would describe Blackout as it's not trying to hide that it's just taken a working formula of what a battle royale game is. Primarily, it's just kind of taken PUBG's formula and toned it down a bit to make it easier to play, easier of access. You know, one of the first things I kept mentioning when we was playing it, and we should note that Nick only played on PC. I played it on PC and PS4. I ended up playing it more on PS4, even though I started on PC. But blame Buddy Watson for that one. Keep me up all night. Goddamn.
Fucking Buddy.
What a nice boy.
Yeah. One of the things I kept noting when we first started playing it, though, was how less complicated and easier a lot of the things were. Because PUBG, if you've never played it, is like you're constantly in the menus equipping your suppressors and your stuff
attachments and stuff like that.
Attachments, and there's different levels of armor, different level of backpacks, different level of helmets, all these. There's just so much. This is very simple. It's like if you pick up a scope and your gun that you're currently holding can take that scope, it just puts it on it.
Yep.
There you go. Have a scope. You've got it on. You pick up a grip, you can put that. It's already attached. There you go. And there's only one backpack. You either have what you start with, 5 slots, or you have 10 slots if you get a bigger backpack. So it's toned it down. I don't want to call it like kidifying it for the COD generation, but it is streamlining it to make more sense with COD, which is a more, I feel, just easier to play shooter. Their general multiplayer games aren't very complicated.
I feel like in this one, compared to PUBG, in that the gunplay is the king, whereas in the other ones, gunplay was just a part of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's just Blackout that has taken COD gunplay.
Yeah.
And COD thematic themes. They do a really good job of integrating everything that's Call of Duty into one big battle royale map. You got zombies. You've got multiplayer maps as locations and
It's also got
whatever
perks.
else.
Like you pick up multiplayer perks and you activate
Perks,
them for a
but
limited
you
time.
can activate them. Yeah. And then they've just chucked that all onto a very basic premise. And I kind of appreciate how they haven't tried super hard to, work on changing the battle royale formula. They haven't even tried to act like they're reinventing the wheel here. They're just saying, look, yeah, PUBG, yeah, Fortnite, all these other places, yeah, you've got a working formula, and our gun combat and mechanics are better than yours. So we're just going to do that, and look, it's great. It works a lot better. So
we're just going to do it better.
we're just going to do it better. We're not going to try and reinvent the wheel here. But I suppose the exciting thing, we both talked about this while I was playing it a couple times, and I mentioned it with Buddy again was playing, is that with this compared to especially PUBG, that you can look forward to these updates. You can look forward to fixes being faster. You can look forward to quarterly weapon packs, or you can look forward to a new battle royale map being added a lot faster than battle PUBG, I suppose. So,
well, I was looking up the Black Ops Battle Pass, which is their season pass thingy.
Okay, yeah.
And it includes a new zombie mode available at launch, 4 additional zombie experiences, 12 multiplayer maps, and 4 exclusive Blackout characters. So there's nothing there other than characters explicitly stated for the Blackout mode.
There's only go again. There's only 4
characters to play as in Black, like 4 additional characters to play as.
Yeah, which isn't super exciting. I suppose,
no, it isn't.
compared
So
to maps or stuff, but
there's a disclaimer saying it's not final and it's subject to change. So I think with the perceived success, like the outpouring of support they've gotten from the beta, I can imagine them changing their post-content launch calendar to incorporate more Blackout type stuff.
They'd be crazy not to.
Especially, I reckon, when they get the metrics, when it comes back and see the amount of people playing that as compared to all the other modes, will be crazy not to.
Yeah. Well, the one thing you got to look at with a Battle Royale mode compared to non-multiplayer modes, I suppose, is designing a map for Battle Royale is obviously a lot more complicated and bigger project than just creating a multiplayer map. And that's not to say a general team deathmatch map isn't hard to design and make sure it works well for the game mode you're designing for. It's just a Battle Royale map is a lot bigger. It holds 100 or
but
they get up to 88.
88.
Yeah. So but it still holds so many more players that you've got to account for and what's happening. So I wouldn't expect them to be releasing a new Battle Royale map constantly. I would expect them to eventually start, 6 months down the track maybe.
Yeah, they'd have to do at least one because, what do they do? Just have the one map for the whole 12 months and then release another Battle Royale mode next year?
And that's what Fortnite does.
Well, the one thing Fortnite does that I'd say that I could maybe and would hope that they do is they do these
Events.
updates and events or whatever you want to call them. They could add in if they're dropping one week, it's like, hey, this week a zombie map pack is coming out, and all of a sudden they change some stuff that week in the Battle Royale map. That's zombies start showing up in more places. All of a sudden you got these new zombie things going on. That's the kind of way that you keep it fresh without having to do a whole new map, I suppose. One of the interesting things I think though is that they put zombies in it as well. That makes it stand out, for example, and the silliness of the ray gun being available, and some of these like the monkey clapping item and whatever else. It's definitely Call of Duty.
For those that don't know, the Blackout mode is supposed to be a celebration of all things Black Ops. So the map is essentially cherry-picked maps from the multiplayer maps from the Black Ops series placed on a larger map connected by grassland and hills and mountains and stuff, and there's zombie location modes, there's multiplayer map sections, and it's just pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So going into competition wise and some interesting things, I think the two things on my mind straight away are versus PUBG and versus Battlefield, even though we don't know what Battlefield Firestorm looks like at this stage. But the Call of Duty Blackout mode is, it's tactical in a sense that if you're playing with a squad, you kind of just have to be tactical, as in communicate to do well and stuff. And most of the time when we're getting killed by people who are just, they're actually communicating, doing well, go around. So, but it's not super tactical. And I would say PUBG is more tactical to a degree. Like it's the fact that people spend more time in their menus, and a lot of time people just are killing people by snipering them off from 1,000 yards away and whatever else. And it doesn't feel quite as arcadey, even though you see people flying cars halfway, doing jumps somehow. And obviously PUBG is quite silly, but this, even the way you're running and you're constantly just sliding across the grass and sliding across the grass, doing all those sorts of things, has that arcadey feel to its Blackout mode. Now, Battlefield, I don't want it to come out and feel anything like this. I want Battlefield at this stage, now that I've played this, I want the Firestorm to come out, and I want it to be kind of the complete opposite to this. And I feel like if they're not, if their Battle Royale mode is trying to be anything like this, which is just fun, arcadey, they've lost day one already. They've just lost.
I think they've already lost already.
Well, I would put them at a chance to have some sort of success with people who are looking for a more hardcore Battle Royale experience. But if that's not what they're doing, then they've lost. Because I'm sure there's many people who could try this or have looked at this and gone, nah, like I don't, that's not what I want out of a Battle Royale mode. I want more of a hardcore tactical SOCOM experience on a huge map or something, So if Battlefield comes out and that's what it is, hey, to get the true experience, you need to be playing as 4-man squad. You need to be communicating at all times. This is what it is. It's not running around, sliding across grass constantly, having a great old time. It's fun. Zombies show up, ray guns, whatever else. But yeah, I'd say at the moment they've just lost. And of course, the other interesting thing is PUBG. Is this the nail in the coffin, or can they make a fighting chance back at all? What do you reckon?
I think it'll be a hard way back if they do attempt to come back, because they seem to be in crisis mode. Like, they're developing skins for every streamer under the earth. They're trying to do publicity stuff. They're I don't know. I just get the sense that they're feeling very frightened at their state in the world. Like, the first time since they've gone massive, they've dropped under 1 million concurrent players. And just the amount of noise and love and admiration that's come out from some big name streamers and Battle Royale players in relation to Blackout, it's going to be a hard way back for them.
It's also really interesting on Microsoft's side, I feel, to do with PUBG, considering how they dived into bed with PUBG basically, and that's not exactly turning out to be the best.
No, well, that's the other thing too. Like, especially for PS4, like, if you don't like Fortnite, this is Blackout's your only other option. Yep,
and if Blackout turns out to be if Blackout turns out to be the second biggest Battle Royale. I was going to call it PUBG because it was like, that's all we had at one stage. And but Battle Royale, if that turns out to be the second biggest, overtakes PUBG, which I think it will. Day one it comes out, it's fine. Yeah. It's shooting numbers over. Will it get bigger than Fortnite? Maybe for a stage. I could see it happening where it's getting...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll quite get Fortnite levels, but I still think it'd be massive. But I also think it's got the advantage too of coming out early, whereas if people get invested in the Blackout, they're not going to go looking elsewhere for another Battle Royale, in my mind.
Yeah.
Especially with how polished it is.
Especially after you pay it.
Exactly.
That's the thing, because most of these games are free or cheap, but if you're willing to pay well, if you pay $100 retail, but presuming most people who pick this up are going to pick it up $69 from JB or something along those lines. But if you're paying $69 for solely a battle royale mode, you're probably not going to be jumping around different games at that point. At that stage, you're like, this is my battle royale game. This is where I'm putting on my time. Because I've paid that much for it.
Exactly, and especially with like regular gamers that aren't clued into the noise, they see people playing the Battlefield and bad-mouthing it, they're going to go, oh, I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, especially after I've paid X amount for Call of Duty as it is now.
Yep. What do you reckon? Is this worth? Is it worth to you $69 just to play this?
Yes, I'm buying it.
Have you pre-ordered it?
Not yet, but I will.
Okay, got to get them the bonuses. Well, yeah, I reckon a lot of people are going to be like that. I'm pretty sure, talking about Buddy before, I'm pretty sure Buddy's buying this game solely for Blackout mode. So, which I think is quite funny, because if you'd asked me a month ago or even 2 weeks ago, is $69 worth it for any sort of battle royale mode, my answer would have just been straight away no. Because no, $69 that's not worth for a battle royale mode. Hell no. Look at most of the battle royale games are either $3 or $20-$30 or whatever PUBG was when it was. It wasn't that much. But the H1Z1, whatever else is free. Realm Royale, it's not huge, but people play that one. That's free, obviously, or no, early access is, I don't know. Either way, it's not much or free. But yeah, $69. It's interesting. It's an interesting time. But super surprised this week. Had a lot of fun playing it. I think I put 2 to 3 hours on the PC with you, and then I think I put about 5 hours in on PS4 somehow as well. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Coming from someone who doesn't play Call of Duty games, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's the most surprising thing for me personally, that I'm actually enjoying a multiplayer Call of Duty game since the original Black Ops.
Yeah. Ash.
Yes.
What are you going to do? Pick this up?
I saw him actually playing on his phone, pre-ordering it while we were talking.
Yeah, that is definitely what I was doing. No.
Is that a no, that's not what you're doing, or no, you're not going to pick this up?
Both.
Oh.
Another thing interesting to note, that on the PS4, you had to have either had a code, or the only way to get a code was to pre-order it. And I think they would have got quite a lot of pre-orders of people pre-ordering just to try out the Blackout mode, Yeah,
because of the hype and stuff around it.
Exactly, especially on PS4, where you have no other option for Battle Royale as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can imagine a lot. EB Games this week was getting a lot of cancelled pre-orders after, I think, after all that thing happening. Other thing quickly before we end, I will say, for people wondering, because obviously you talked about this as well, and you heard that the menu management was bad on PlayStation, which when you said that to me when we first started playing it on PC, I went into playing it on PS4 going, oh, this is going to be quite cumbersome to handle all my items. It is really good. It is streamlined so well to the point that when I came back to PC, I was, after 4 hours of playing on PlayStation, I was kind of preferring how it was all handled on PlayStation, actually, because the main inventory management system that you bring up where all your items are and your 10 items in your backpack, if you've got that, obviously using a mouse, you can move a bit quicker, click on items, bring them back forth. That's just how it is. However, using the left analog stick while you bring up that menu on the screen, if you know what you're doing, once you've played a couple matches, you can do it, flick backwards and forwards, click on what you need to, square, equip, extra drop, whatever, and you can bring up that menu while moving at the same time, so you can be on the go doing what you need to do. You can multitask. It just takes a couple seconds to get used to it. The only menu that they changed is the one that when you're searching a dead body or a med pack, if you're playing the PC version, it brings it up like your normal inventory, so big screen, you can see all the items laid out in front of you. On the PS4, it comes up as a system where you can cycle through each item solo. However, I mean, it's still just pretty simple. Left, right, you cycle through the items, you click, square, take that, and then you just click left, right. So I feel like it's not... it's not slower, but at the same time, it's probably just a millisecond slower because on PC, your brain can quickly take in all those images of items and decide for you very fast of what you want to take because you can see them all on the screen at the same time.
Yeah.
But on PS4, it's still pretty quick. And then the map system on PS4 as well, you can bring up using the touchpad button while you're running. So you can, while you're running down a hill or whatever, you can tap that, bring it up. And I was doing that all the time. I was just, running down a hill, tap that, bring it up, R2 zoom in, was pressing where I need to go. And I was never stopping. I was never having to stop, bring up map. This is annoying. This is a hard system to use. So that's all designed great. UI and all that works great. So if you're worried a game like this, especially because PUBG on Xbox, as far as I'm concerned, just was bad. They did not do that menu system right at all. It was horrible. But this one they've got 100% right as far as I'm concerned. But that's Call of Duty Blackout. That's it's coming out later this year. And if you pick it up, you'll see Nick playing on PC, not PlayStation.
Exactly.
Moving towards wrapping up the show, there's only one trophy list I quickly want to talk about this week, which was Transference. Transference is out this week. That's the Elijah Wood company horror game that Ubisoft announced 2 years ago. Interestingly, it's only got 1 gold and 13 bronze, no platinum, which is a bit annoying, but there you go. The majority of the trophies just look like complete level kind of thing. Then you get gold for beating it. And then looks to be 1 bronze for trophy for getting all the, audio tapes or whatever you've got going on. And then 1 more that's probably for some secret extra thing that you can find. But I still want to play it, obviously, because I tried out the demo. Or the demo case, the Walter case, which I did enjoy, and I still want to play it, and I've been interested since I saw it, but at the same time, I'm like, no platinum, does that mean it's really short? Like, how much is this supposed to be? If there's no platinum, how long is this game? And it's not like I want a 20-hour horror game, but is it just 2 hours, and then I'm done, or 3 hours? So just a little bit more worried off the trophy list because of the no platinum, but, it could be long with no platinum anyway. We'll find out. We'll find out. Okay, thank you for joining us this week for Platinum Explosion, episode 78. This, of course, is the Explosion Network's PlayStation show, where sometimes we just talk about Call of Duty a hell of a lot, and we don't usually talk about Call of Duty at all, to be honest. I don't think we've mentioned Call of Duty on the show really until like the last couple of shows where it's just come up nearly every episode. It's quite an interesting time in the
what a coincidence.
In the
Nick's on these 2 shows. You talk about this
and Nick's on everyone. Yeah. Bring me all your Call of Duties. What are you doing, Nick? You can follow me on Twitter at Vivaladil, Vivaladil. Where can I follow you, Nick?
You can follow me on Twitter at Lord Empire, Prior.
Where can people follow you, Ash?
You can follow me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, SHLEY, It's a thing.
Feel free to tweet at Ash about how we should get good at first-person shooters and invest in Blackout. Or feel free to tutor Ash on how to play first-person shooters.
That could be a
little old man.
That could be a thing.
That could be a thing. You're like, actually, they are tutoring these Fortnite kids. Someone help me out.
That'd be interesting content.
That's true. It's true. You can follow this show on Twitter at Plat Podcast. Don't forget to rate the show on Apple Podcast if you can. And if you can't, when you shoot someone in Blackout next time, just send them a message, slide into their DMs, and tell them that Platinum Explosion sent you. And then if they reply with some homophobic slur, just proceed to block them. All right, bye. We don't want them on our content either, actually, at that point. You can join our Discord. You can head on over to explosionnetwork.com/Discord to join the Discord. Talk about Call of Duty. I'm just going to say everything Call of Duty now because that's now the thing. This is a product of the Explosion Network, of which you can find many more shows, articles, news, reviews, and things about Call of Duty at explosionnetwork.com. You can follow the Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod, where we will tweet about Call of Duty quite a lot. And until next time, Plat, get splat, Blackout, Call of Duty, brup.
Looking forward to our new Call of Duty podcast. Calling the duties. I don't know.
Calling the duties.
Yeah.
No one's going to ever accidentally say, welcome to this week's episode of Calling the Duties.